Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering, why is he rubbing his hands together? Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm rubbing my hands together. Because for years and years and years, I've been trying to tell people that have been a part of the Dragon Ball FighterZ community that Bandai does not care about them. They do not have their best interest in mind. Time and time and time and time again. I've said this since I was in the community. After I've left the community, I told people they don't care about you and they never will. And so imagine the look on my face when I get to view this wonderful image that is dealing with the cancellation of the DBFZ World Tour and the rescheduling. So it would be one thing if it was just, oh, hey, we had to cancel, so we're going to reschedule it. You know, if they did that, then I wouldn't even need to make this video, right? But instead, they have done something so incredibly bad that I have to make a video about it because, you know, anytime a fighting game has something involved with a world tour, a circuit, something that impacts a mass amount of players, I feel like it would be doing a disservice for me to not speak on topics like this. This is really, really bad. So let's talk about what's going on here. So again, the DBFZ World Tour had to be canceled and postponed because of the fires that were in LA. Which, by the way, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have canceled. I do think that they waited way too long to cancel. They waited so long to cancel the original World Finals that some of the international players were actually already in America, and then it got canceled and they were just kind of stuck. And then they just had to go home without anything because they waited so long. So definitely waited too long on it, but them canceling makes sense for the safety of players and all that. I just wish they would have made that call earlier. Everyone was like, okay, eventually they'll probably reschedule, but nobody really knew when that would be or anything like that. And they dropped this yesterday that is saying, we'll go to the... They say our priority is to create a great experience for the qualified players and to deliver exciting finals as soon as possible. So this is pretty much saying, is saying, hey, we're willing to cut corners just to make sure we can get this over and done with, because we're pretty much over it. We want to make sure that neither our players nor spectators have to wait too long. Therefore, we made some changes to the tournament's format. This is a horrible fucking excuse. This is literally you telling people we are willing to take a far worse route just so we can get it done soon. And for an overwhelming majority of people, how soon or how late it is doesn't really matter. What really matters is that they get to participate and get to play. And we'll talk about why taking this route explicitly is really bad, right? So, Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour Finals. We will not have last chance qualifiers for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is so dog shit. This is so dog shit. It's actually way worse than a lot of people think it is. And you only really understand why this is so bad whenever you understand the format of the DBFZ World Tour in the first place, where they have their standard, you know, offline events that are worth points and whatnot. That stuff is all standard, but they actually this year they brought back the online Tenkaichi events, which there were some instances of the tour that didn't have any online events that were actually able to contribute for points, right? So they brought back online events, and the stakes for for placing highly in the online leaderboards was that you could win a trip to the LCQ. That was the trade-off. They kind of did it like the very first DBFZ World Tour. They did these things called Dragon Radar events, and if you won a Dragon Radar event, you would win a trip to World Finals. You'd win a trip to a power event. You'd win a trip to an offline major, so you could potentially compete to win a spot in the finals. Right. This one is kind of in between. They give you directly a trip to LCQ, and so with that comes an issue, right? So we're talking about them changing the format. They nixed the LCQ altogether. That's a dog shit decision no matter what. Just in a vacuum, right? Not having an LCQ for your world tour is horrible. There are so many people that cannot afford to travel around the world to events. They can't go to combo breakers or evos or this or that, right? There are people that that were saving up for months and months and months, like looking forward to this, looking for their chance to compete, looking for their chance to be around their friends and get to enjoy the games that they love. And you're just completely giving that, you've taken that chance and you've blown it away, which is already bad in and of itself. It's even worse when you consider that there's people that slogged through the online tour. It was a part of your tour. The whole goal of the online portion of your tour was so that people could participate in the LCQ. Now people have played in all those events. They've worked hard. They've competed all this time, and they don't get any reward. They don't get any reward for their hard work because there's no LCQ. So they just don't get to participate, which is even more dog shit on top of that. I don't believe that Bandai is the type of company that will adequately compensate people for their time, for them going through the trouble of all of this and then not getting anything in return. I think this is so bad. It really, really undermines the credibility of Bandai making decisions like this. This is like so bad. I don't care how long you have to delay. Like, people understand that events are big deals, and when you reschedule, sometimes it takes a long time, right? So sometimes it will just take a long time because venues and this and that. I think people generally would be understanding of that, understanding that they have to wait a little bit longer, right? But to cancel the LCQ is such an essential part. It's such an essential part of what makes a world tour a world tour. There's no world tour that doesn't run an LCQ anymore. This is this is not good. This is not good at all. Okay, so they did that, and to make up for it, because now that there's no LCQ, of course they're going to be short players. They said the finals will now feature the top 15 players from the global leaderboard and the Evo winner. So that's how they're going to get their 16 players. They're going to take the top 15 people from this leaderboard, the global leaderboard, and the Evo winner. Now, whenever we're talking about that, you might think, oh, wait, there's something actually really wrong with that, with doing that. And that is that the person that's first on the leaderboard is the Evo winner, which is natural because winning Evo gives you so many points. It gives you 600 points. It's hard for you not to be number one whenever you win Evo. So you're actually short a player because the person that's first on the leaderboard is also the Evo winner. So that's one issue. The other issue being he's not even going. Inzem literally came out with a video not too long ago talking about how explaining why he's quitting Dragon Ball, and even before that, he was saying he wasn't, like, even if the finals were on the scheduled weekend that they were supposed to be, he wasn't going to go. He didn't have any desire to compete anymore. And so there's actually just going to be missing people from the finals. You're not even going to have a full 16 players. Like, you're not going to have a full 16 players unless they do their due diligence and they actually offer a spot to someone else. But again, like, not having an LCQ is complete dog shit. Like, there's no justification for this. You could say they're trying to justify it with this stuff earlier, talking about we don't want to make people wait too long and this and that. Well, that doesn't matter, right? What matters in a world tour is giving players an environment where they can compete fairly, and giving all the people that earn the right to compete. And you've already nixed that by axing the LCQ in the first place. It's so stupid. This is really bad. This is really bad, and this is not the only time that I have criticized their decision making on their world tours. I actually have an entire video called "The Rise and Fall of the DBFZ World Tour." If you want to check that out, I'll leave that link in the description. But it's actually, like, impressive how every single time that they get an opportunity to drop the ball with their world tour, they have taken an opportunity. Like, there have been things that they've changed, or there's been things that they've enacted that have been, like, met with criticism, and then sometimes they change a little thing that, like, seems like it would be a really, really good change in the long run, but then they turn right back around and they make the worst decision possible, bro. They make the absolute worst decision possible. And so, like, this disproportionately affects certain people, obviously the people that hadn't qualified for the world tour but were confident that they could win LCQ. They just get completely fucked. Again, I always poke fun at KJ Pixel, but I know he was really excited to go to the World Finals, or to go to LCQ. He thought he had a really, really good shot, and he did have a really good shot. To be fair, though, you know what I think this is the result of? Let me see if I can actually find this. I'm gonna show you guys something really, really, really ugly. I don't know if they have the page published anymore though. They probably don't, because they're trying to save face. No, it's here. Right here. So this is the page for the DBFZ LTQ. Only 39 people. This is the reason. I think this is the reason that they decided to axe LCQ, is them trying to save face. They're like, damn, we couldn't even get 40 people to sign up for our LCQ. Like, we might as well just not host the shit altogether. That's not the answer to an underperforming event. Like, that's not what you do. You don't just cancel for something like that, especially whenever it was something that was out of the player's hands. Like, you rescheduled because of fucking fires, bro. That doesn't mean these people don't deserve their shot, but you're so dog shit, you couldn't get people to care about the DBFZ World Tour this year anyway, because your tour is dog shit, your game is dog shit, your dev support, your communication is dog shit. You've just been coasting along, trying to keep people on the train so that you could eventually turn them into players of your other Dragon Ball properties. You've never actually cared about the DBFZ community. They never have. They never have. And I've been telling people about this for years and years and years, but no one wants to fucking listen. Well, hopefully now that you guys that were in denial now understand just how much this company does not care about you. For them to axe the LCQ, for them to change the format entirely at the very last minute, denying opportunities from people that otherwise would have had them. Complete nonsense. Something that is completely unacceptable. You cannot get away with things like this. They will, because it's Dragon Ball IP, but I would, if I was a player, if I was someone that was like still super deeply ingrained in the community, I would be raising hell about this, right? I'm gonna make this video and I'm gonna move on, and I'm not even gonna look again at this because I don't care anymore, right? But my advice to anyone that's still stuck around in this community, you should have been like being activist about this before. You should have been pushing back on Bandai because they've been treating you like dog shit the whole time. But now more than ever, you can see how they want to treat you, right? This should be very, very clear. They don't fuck with you guys. They don't. You're there as a side project. You're not at all what they care about at all. It just be like that. It's a damn shame though. I really do feel for everyone that did still care about the game and wanted to compete, because like that's fucked up. Like, I don't want this to happen to anyone. No matter how I feel about the game, this shit is unfair. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair to the players. It's not fair to anyone, right? It just doesn't make any sense. For you to compete the entire season under the pretext of, if I place well enough of these online events, I get to go to an LCQ, only for them to cancel it anyway for something that's completely out of your control. No, absolutely not. So this is complete dog shit. Bandai, especially the Dragon Ball FighterZ division has been really, really bad this entire time. But you know, this isn't the only game that they're having trouble with at the moment. But this is ugly, and I don't know if they're gonna make people whole on this. I think that the people that qualified to travel to LTQ or were going to LCQ should be compensated in some way, to be honest. But will they do that? Probably not, because they've always cut corners and they've always tried to avoid the consequences of their actions. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, dog shit. I will not be watching. I wasn't gonna watch anyway, but I will not be watching. I feel sorry for Zane, who has to slog through this shit. But outside of that, yeah. So let me know what you guys think about that with a YouTube comment. I think this shit is horrible. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.